Every single second you hesitate, another brilliant idea dies quietly in the dark, buried under the noise, ignored because it didn't scream loud enough. You know that feeling, the crushing weight of trying to make your crowdfunding campaign stand out amid a sea of sameness, where every project looks and sounds like the same tired story. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, and most of all, it feels like the world is built to make you invisible. You put your heart into creating something that could change lives, spark movements, leave a dent in the future, and yet it barely gets a glance. That's the agony of being drowned out before you even get a fair shot. But here's the brutal truth. Most crowdfunding campaigns fail not because the idea isn't powerful, but because it's lost before it's even heard. It's lost in noise, lost in expectation, lost in a world that wants to keep the exceptional trapped in shadows where it can't shine. What's the root of the problem? The old rules. The tired playbook that tells you to just post, promote, pray. But that's bullshit. It's a must-fail script handed to dreamers who refuse to fit. Because the real game doesn't play by those rules anymore. Real success comes from flipping the script, breaking out of the hamster wheel, and diving straight into what nobody else dares to do. To make your campaign impossible to ignore, it has to hit nerves you didn't know were raw. It's got to tell a story so electric it pulls people from their phones, out of their scroll, into a moment where they stop breathing and feel something real. And that story isn't about features or sales numbers. It's about raw, unfiltered truth. Your truth, stripped bare. Because people don't back products. They back the fire behind products. They back the rebellion, the risk, the raw edge where the magic happens. Right now, founders and investors and leaders everywhere feel trapped in a system addicted to comfort, conformity, and quiet desperation. That system feeds mediocre. It starves genius. It sells safety and punishes risk. You're not here for that life. You're not here to settle for almost. You want fire, impact, revolution. If your campaign isn't sparking that roaring blaze, it's just more noise, and the crowd's moving on. So how do you get off the treadmill and into the fast lane of obsession? It's simple in theory, but hard as hell to execute. Every piece of your campaign must be a mirror that reflects the deepest hunger of your audience's soul and a trigger that unlocks their secret desire to fight for change. Forget the normal pitch decks and cookie-cutter videos. What turns heads is something brutal and original. Vulnerability wrapped in confidence. Share the scar, the sleepless nights, the failures that almost killed the dream. Then light the vision they can't stop chasing. The future only you can create. Show them they're not just donating money. They're joining a rebellion that dares to rewrite reality. Because that's exactly what crowdfunding is at its core. A network of the wild, the willing, and the warriors who refuse to be silenced. The campaign that sharpens your message into a spear aimed straight at the heart of what your crowd needs isn't just marketing. It's liberation. It's calling out to every misaligned genius who's been waiting for permission to rise. Now let's get real about the mess almost every founder walks into. The noise, social media shouting, competing projects flooding feeds, algorithms that bury your voice like a secret. The doubt engineered by 1,000 setbacks, and the invisible walls built by gatekeepers who don't even understand what you're trying to create. The average campaign dies in the first week because it plays safe, because it's polite, because it's what everyone else is doing. But you're not average. Your vision is fire trying to break free. So every second you spend repeating what feels comfortable is a second you're stealing your own chance. The world's too hungry for real change to listen to whispers. You need to roar. This means you start with your why, but not the generic, I want to change the world answer. Peel back every layer until you find the exact pain that your idea fights, the exact joy it promises, the exact nightmare it ends. Your campaign must become a bridge between fear and hope, despair and possibility. Your audience must feel that this project isn't some distant idea, but a lifeline thrown to them in the dead of night when all else feels lost. Then you pull them in with stories, human stories, raw and unpolished. Let them see the people who will be transformed by your project, not just the product specs. Show failure and grit, because perfect stories lie, and people are too exhausted for lies. But we're not done. Here's where 99% of campaigns lose their spark. They treat backers like transactions. They forget the holy truth that crowdfunding is a movement. It's collective fire. It's connection on a level deeper than dollars exchanged. To be impossible to ignore, your campaign must create an ecosystem around it, a survival circle where contributors, investors, and partners don't just give money, but become part of the story's heartbeat. They have to feel their participation means they are literally shaping the future with you, forging a new path where their belief isn't just encouraged, it's necessary. Build ways for them to co-create, feedback loops where their voice changes the campaign's direction, moments when they feel the rush of being part of something historic. This isn't a sales funnel, it's a shared pulse. Content? It can't be bland. It has to be addictive. Think mini experiences that hook people in bite-sized revelations. A moment of shock, a taste of possibility, a challenge to the status quo. Use compelling visuals, but not just sleek ads that vanish instantly. Use real faces, real struggle, real breakthroughs. They're magnets. Transparency isn't optional. It's the oxygen your campaign breathes. The more honest you are, the more impossible it becomes for strangers to walk away. Every update, every message should make them feel like insiders, the ones who see behind the curtain, the ones trusted with the secret of what's really going on. And then there's timing. Don't just launch at any moment. Synchronize your campaign's heartbeat with a movement, a social moment, a cultural itch begging to be scratched. Ride the pulse of a wider narrative bigger than your project, but connected to it. That's how you create waves, how you tap into the energy swirling just beneath the surface, instead of battling it alone. The campaign that ignores the context around it dies slowly. The campaign that rides the current becomes a tsunami people can't stop riding. Finally, remember that crowdfunding is about courage, your willingness to be relentless, imperfect, vulnerable, and wildly authentic. Your campaign is the beacon to the misaligned brilliance out there, waiting for a spark. If you hold back, sanitize the truth, and play it safe, you don't just lower your chance, you betray the rare future your project could build. Every human being who clicks support is looking for something to believe in, something to risk for. Give them that. Tear down the walls this world has built around possibility. Build a fortress of passion where your rarity is the foundation and your crowd becomes the army that reshapes reality. The system wants you to fit, to be safe, to blend into the gray shadows of quiet survival. But you weren't born to be invisible. You were born to ignite. So when you launch your next campaign, don't ask if it's good enough. Ask if it's impossible to ignore. Because only campaigns that roar with raw honesty, connect with fierce clarity, and invite the rare few to join a wild rebellion can break free. This is your call to burn every comfortable rulebook, smash every fake safety net, and show the world the fire only you can light. Make your crowdfunding campaign not just a project but a movement. Unleash what's waiting inside, and watch as the invisible becomes impossible to ignore.